Okay. This video is all about me. Yeah, I don't know why I decided, oh, maybe I should do a reading on myself. And I have to tell you, the thought of doing that was like, oh, no, I don't want to do it because, I don't know what's going to come up. And I was feeling a little bit of fear and apprehension. And but I thought it's kind of unfair of me to be doing videos of other people, kind of judging in a way if I didn't do a reading on myself. Although I don't know how you can someone truly objectively do a reading on themselves? I don't know. And this may come across as totally self-absorbed. I have no idea. Let me close this door. Um, yeah, but it was kind of fun, and I'm a little bit pleased with the results, and it's very accurate, at least from my perspective on some things. And I do want to say, look, when I'm tuning, first of all, I did this as a from third person perspective, as if I didn't know this person, Karen Cat of realistic spirituality. I separated myself from myself. And I just want to say, I don't have any control over the images that come through. And more than half the time, I have to look stuff up like, oh, what do you mean? What could this mean? So I don't feel like I manipulated any information. But anyway, let's move on. So first of all, the last thing that I got was the archetype, and I got the bear archetype, and this big brown bear was like, and I was like, ah, this can't be. And I asked several times, and I kept getting this big brown bear, with a little like bow and arrow pointing towards the left, which is kind of like I would say a gentle pointing always towards spirituality. But I did not know there was a bear archetype, and let me just kind of read this to you. The bear archetype embodies the union of fierce strength, quiet introspection, and nurturing protection. And I would say, yeah, that's totally me. I'm rather dependable, and I do need long, long, long periods of introspection and rest and sleep. And also that I can be very defensive and fierce. Let me get back to Zoom. When I feel like my boundaries have been crossed, or the animals, or the people, then I can get like rope. So I liked the bear archetype. And this bear is always gently pointing towards spirituality, the arrow towards the left. Okay, what else did I get? So when I first tuned into this person, this is so weird. I really got I oh, here comes the truth. I don't know why that happens. I feel about nervousness, a sense of uncomfortableness of being just not fully settled in the body and comfortable in sharing and speaking and trying to speak very quickly in order to get the video over with because this person doesn't feel quite comfortable being seen. So it's an uncomfortable atmosphere. There is a lack. However, there is sincerity, total sincerity in what this person is sharing. Um, but we also I notice a lack of identity. And I did have a commenter say, "Oh, you don't know who you are or what you want to be or something." And I was like, "Yeah, you're absolutely right." In the same in from the personalities perspective, yeah, total lack of identity. I don't know who I am, who I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to do. But from a spiritual perspective, a lack of identity is great, right? Removing identifications is a great thing. But I think that there can be a balance there. And I think right now I fall with the energy of, oh, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm doing. Or this person doesn't know who she is or what she's doing. And that would be true. And also when I tune in, or what I notice is that there's some tightness around the mouth when they're speaking. And to me, that senses a lot of anger. There's still some anger that wishes to be expressed. So there's some tightness. And I would say that For me, yeah, that's true. I'm getting all confused in who I'm talking about, but yes, that's absolutely true. The tightness in my mouth is a repression of a lot of anger that I have. Anger about this world, anger about some things in my life, blah, blah, blah. We all have it, but I tend to keep my mouth quite tight because I'm, I wish, those people who can go on rants and they like can just they're going for like 5 minutes straight, and it is like a symphony. They could be cussing, but they can get it all out. I wish that I could just get it all out and be like that. Anyway, I stumble over my words too much. So there you go. Also, when I tuned in, and then intuitively as I tuned in to myself, I immediately saw an eagle. And of course, it's a lovely symbol. What does that mean? Vision, strength, freedom, and divine connection. Okay, whatever. Um, Many people have that, but I also do think because the eagle, and it also could have been a hawk because a hawk came up later in the reading. The eagle, of course, has, high vision. Okay, we got that. Anybody on the spiritual journey sees things from a higher perspective. But if I want to say, oh, it could have been an eagle as well, sometimes the eagle and the hawk, while they have high vision, they can also, from the negative perspective, can say, oh, I have eagle eye or hawk's eyes, and I can see what's wrong. And I can be hawkish and go, oh, that person here and that person there, or this situation, right? It's the ability not just to see from a higher perspective, but to see what's off, dysresonant, to have the hawk's eye and to be a watchful as a hawk, like a monitor. And that's kind of how I feel when I do the videos. And I don't like that. I feel like that is from the I Ching. To be had the hawk's eye is not really a good trait. That is the ego wanting to find something wrong. And so I take that to heart. And yeah. So, however, when I saw the eagle or the hawk, um, which in its a blanket, like one of those plush, soft little blankets, came and was wrapped around it. So what I took from that is, even if I'm being hawkish or criticizing, perhaps this person does it in a more gentle way, not really wanting to like um, crucify somebody or the situation. Yeah, and then, okay, bear with me. Sorry. I can't control the images, but I'm going to share what I got because I don't know, it kind of makes me feel good. I never do intuitive readings about myself. I did see a halo. Please, I'm not talking about an angelic halo, but it a halo. The halo that's referenced in like all the old paintings, the religious paintings, what that refers to is it is the telltale sign that someone's consciousness, personal consciousness, has and Kundalini has passed through the Bindu point and has merged with cosmic consciousness, so that when your vision turns inwards here, what you see and what I consistently see is like there's a sun inside my head. So it just recognizes it's just the universe is confirming to me or this person that there has been an awakening there, and that whatever. Okay, so moving on. Um, where do I want to start? Looking at the soul contract. The deepest unconscious wound here is the karmic nines, and that is absolute oppression, depression, coming into this world and feeling complete like most people on the spiritual journey who come in and go, what the fuck? you know, but having this deep repression and depression, um, and feeling like there I am not connected to anything here. I don't belong here. And it leads to the karmic nine. You have no incentive to do anything. Like if you know the Enneagram, it's the shadow of the Enneagram, very slothful, no initiative, no personal power, right? You just kind of blah. Anyway, so that's the unconscious fear. And so in the outer world, this person has karmic fours. The two together are the fours, many different levels on the karmic fours. And it's all about, trusting in life and sharing your light with others. But in a karmic condition, it's like, oh no, you have no achieving energies. First of all, you can't make any money. Like money's going to be really difficult for you to come by. And there's just no, you don't see that you have any light to shine to the world. It's a lack of, I, I don't see anything good in myself to share with others. I have nothing to share. It's like that lack of identity, that what do I have to shine the light? Now, and it's very low self-esteem. It doesn't mean I don't lack confidence, but I lack self-esteem. And I don't know, anyway. So what I got is for my motivation doing these videos, or her motivation for doing these videos. And I was like, okay, because if the karmic four is about not achieving, and I lack power, is it about or the inability to make money or save money, or to even ask for money and to feel good about receiving money from for my services? Yeah, that's a whole thing. It's a whole thing in the spiritual world anyway. But so I asked, is my motivation for power? No. Is it for money? No. I can't remember what else I asked, but is it for love? And I was like, oh, you're getting close. Is it for recognition? No. Oh, is it for connection? Yes. Let me see what else that I got. Connection, blah, blah, to be part of the whole. And that totally makes sense. I mean, I didn't even realize this about myself. I'm learning something, is that these karmic nines, that unconscious, I don't feel part of anything, I don't have anything to offer, it can be a very lonely existence, because I've been a hermit and alone my whole life. And so, yeah, my motivation for doing these videos is for connection, to feel part of the whole. So that kind of makes me sad. Um, anyway, apparently, according to my soul contract, I have a deeper connection coming into this life. I already had a deep connection to the soul. Pretty much a very grounded individual who wants to help people. Um, my goal is to integrate and hold space for the highest of the high light and the darkest of the dark. Blah blah blah. Um, Overall, I'm here to learn that. Yeah, my soul mission here would be to learn to speak my truth, and to in this system it says teach the teachers, to be able to speak my truth, to bring information, truth, and intuitions from the highest level. Well, anyway, the imaginal realm, and to be able to share your truth, whatever. But my ultimate life goal is liberation of consciousness. Okay, moving on. So when I checked in on this person with the senses, the base chakra, I got a chocolate birthday cake with candles, lit candles. Okay. So, as far as grounding is concerned, pretty good, dark chocolate. However, uh, this person could use a little bit more grounding, maybe a little bit more protein, because we have a chocolate cake and it's a little sugary. So I could use a little bit deeper grounding, a little protein, which I absolutely need to have more protein physically in my diet right now. I've really cut back, and I'm ugh. Anyway, but the positive side or of this imagery of the birthday cake with lit candles in reference to consciousness would indicate, okay, this person, Kundalini has been lit and there's been a rebirth of consciousness. There's been, yeah. So that was interesting to get that. Now, as far as sacral and my intimate relationships or friendships or whatever, and sharing of myself, I got rhubarb pie. So I had to look it up, and it was like the balance of life's contrast, the bitter with the sweet. And I would say, yeah, that's basically I can be a little bitter and sweet. My relationships are bitter and sweet. And actually, that is exactly what I got in my gift to others, is that there's I in relationships I do offer the bitter and the sweet, and I'll talk about that later. So, honestly, I could do better. Okay. You know, I don't know if we need bitterness. You know what I'm saying? It's a little, I can be a little, maybe, and then sweet. Okay. I could use some work there. Okay, solar plexus was a little sad, but then not sad. It depends on which perspective you're taking. So I immediately just saw this person waving a white flag. And from one aspect, I guess the personality aspect, I felt very sad because waving the white flag to me feels like, oh, I give up. I don't know what I'm here to offer. It's giving up, shining your light. I give up, right? And so that was an egoic interpretation. But from a spiritual perspective, you can say this is surrendering. This is more of surrendering to divine will and not trying to force an expression, just letting it come. So I think there's a little of both happening. I mean, 100% there's been surrender. Like that's just what happens. You just end up surrendering your ego will or personality will to divine will. And of course, there's no identification that you can kind of like, what does this person do? You don't know. You don't really know. Hard to tell because I'm waving the white flag. Okay, now heart. This was quite an interesting imagery. Um, Kind of a little sad, and I am here to work this lifetime, not only to liberate consciousness, but absolutely to heal the heart. I mean, you have to heal the heart in some way to liberate consciousness. And what I saw was, because I go out and I try to touch um, the person, and I touch, and I just went into like memory foam, and you know, so what I got, so how could I interpret this? Memory foam. So definitely when I'm around people, I am very soft. And let's just say the memories of the heart wounds can be depressed or I don't know what I'm saying. I'm soft when people are around, I'm interacting with them. But as soon as I don't have people around, then it bounces right back into kind of a protective layer with memories that are not that wounds that are still in the memory foam, if I'm making sense. You know what I mean? Okay. Um, yeah, pushback. Yeah, as soon as yeah, okay, I'm gonna just shut up now. Throat, my expressions. What do you call those Mexican things? Mariachis? So I didn't look up what they mean, but I should have. Somebody else can tell me what they mean. But I heard more mariachi on the right ear, but enough over here. But I could just say that my expression right now currently is a little bit more mind oriented, information oriented, analytical. And I probably could use a little bit more intuition or whatever. Anyway, mariachis, I have no idea. I forgot to look that up. Okay, so for compassionate understanding, what do we need to know about this person in case we feel a little weird about them? I got hexagram or gene key 40. which, by the way, is linked to cats. I'm a cat. I have cats, and yeah, it's all about divine will and freeing yourself from the collective ego and also the negative aspects of the constructed self. So the first one I got that I still oh my gosh. Yes, that I still am moved by ego impulses to do things like maybe do these videos because this person still suffers from ideas that they are insufficient and defective. And I want to cry, and I can feel that that's an emotion response, not a truth response. But so yes, there is still that feeling of being defective and insufficient, not knowing whatever. Um, and the other line that I got was the hawk. Well, it was saying that the hawk has been killed in this person, and the hawk meaning really being attached to the collective ego, following that. However, the hawk is still existing in kind of like, oh, I'm going to criticize this person and that person. So I still have to work on that. Okay. Gene Key 40 is connected to divine will, and it talks about at the shadow level. Uh, uh, First of all, I have known my whole life, really, that even though I have this oppression, depression, and lack of motivation to become somebody to do something to like whatever, earn a living or whatever, I've always known that this is that I'm kind of not here to that it's all about divine relaxation, which is what Gene Key 40 is all about. That I'm here, that I don't need to do a lot of stuff this lifetime. But I lack trusting the universe in that, and I end up forcing myself to do these videos because I feel like because in this world we have to make money, and especially now everything's like, oh my God, I have to now do it. I'm kind of I'm forcing things to happen. And that's what the Gene Key 40 is all about. And, forcing things to happen, which absolutely leads to exhaustion. And I cannot tell you, I suffer from exhaustion all the time. And it talks about the stomach. And even when you eat food, even whenever I eat food, my body does not metabolize it. I have no ATP energy, and when I eat food, I get so tired. And I'm not eating carbs and sugar, but even protein. I get so tired. Like the exhaustion is ridiculous, and it's because this is because I'm still forcing myself to do things instead of taking the time to relax, to hibernate like the bear should, and just doing things. But in this world, if you don't keep up doing videos or whatever, um, but the biggest point of this for compassionate understanding about who this person is that the exhaustion comes from a person who does not value themselves. And I had not read that before. And so this was a great insight to myself, which goes right back to the karmic force. They don't have any self-esteem, and they don't value themselves. They don't value what they have to offer. So, of course, not very many people will be attracted to that. So this was a good lesson for me to hear that and do this reading on myself because I have not read that before. And I've read that Gene Key many times. Okay, moving on. So, what is this person's greatest gift or contribution that I wasn't quite aware of? And I don't know if this is good or not, but it goes right back to the rhubarb pie, the bitterness and sweet. And my greatest gift to others is it's diplomacy, but also the conflict. The shadow and the gift is my gift. And I know. Oh my God, I know this. This is myself. What it says, number one, is that people with the gift of diplomacy, I'm speaking from the Gene Keys position, they have the ability to sense that conflict is happening, but it hasn't arisen into the expression stage, but you can feel it. And I just went, like my friend Kate, who might be watching this, can tell you I do this all the time. And we just did this, went through this yesterday, that I will sense something. And well, I mean, she does as well, but she has a different way of dealing with it. Or, yeah, my way of dealing with, okay, so I feel sensing something's off. And I will create conflict in order to bring it to the surface so that we can get to diplomacy and peace, right? So I am a little bit bittersweet in relationships, but it's kind of a gift because you're like, okay, something's off. I can feel it. And I'm going to kind of create an argument or poke or something, create a conflict so it comes out. I don't know if that's a true gift or not. Um, anyway, this gift of diplomacy apparently is someone who can adjust their behavior to harmonize around other people. Like if there's a conflict, and I do this all the time, I'm like, okay, I'm going to create conflict and blah, blah, blah. And then it starts, the diplomacy starts happening, the conversation starts happening. And then I go, oh, okay, I'm going to change my behavior. And I like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see where I was off. And that, so it makes it a very peaceful, um, whatever. Okay. And this is all connected, by the way. This gene key and the other gene key is all connected to the my goal in my soul contract, which I think is beautiful. So it's called the Ring of Alchemy, which I guess maybe I'm good at that. I don't know. Anyway, so am I a pure human soul? No. A galactic soul? No. Angelic soul? No. And then I asked, am I a first ray soul? And I got a yes. I don't know what that means. It doesn't matter. Is the information shared by this person trustworthy? Yes. I mean, I'm hoping I could be objective on that answer. You will have to decide. And then, yeah, the last of it was the motivations. Why am I doing these videos? And it's just to create connection. Um, yeah, but I have to be better at the hawk, judging, critiquing, or how I do stuff. Yeah. Anyway, that's me, the bear. Okay. Until next time.